Okay, good evening everybody, and you're just joining us now. Welcome along to Bodyke, where we are here for our live Friday night Camogie, and we are waiting for Scariff Ogonnelloe to be playing Newmarket, and Jim Collins is here to sort of fill you in on all the other games, Jim. But I just see here in front of me, Broadford are playing Whitegate, Corofin are playing Tulla, and Kilkishen Bodyke are playing Truagh Clonlara, which is a big game.
It is indeed, Luke, and we have that is a big game. It'll be very interesting to see. Truagh Clonlara have had a great start to this competition, but I think in Kilkishen Bodyke they'll meet their toughest opposition so far, and these could well be the two teams who will come out of that group. The Broadford and Whitegate, of course, another local East Clare derby. We'll have Carmel Dillon down there to report on that, and Brideen Dinan is in Corofin to talk to us about the game between Corofin and Tulla this evening. So all in all, we'll have hopefully this game here, of course, is a crunch game as well. These two teams were semi-finalists 2 years ago, and they were finalists 3 years ago. So they've met a number of times over the last few years, and both sides winning various games. So hopefully we'll have a good game here this evening.
Okay, well, what we'll be doing is we'll say the lads are going to be doing their live commentary, and I said we'll butt in every now and again and go off and try and, as the man says, put 50 cent in the meter and get the games and the goals and all the action from the evening's activities. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the dynamic duo who are out here enjoying the sun in Bodyke and evenings, Pat McNamara and lead commentator Leo Doyle. Take it away, boys.
Good evening, Luke, and thanks very much for that dynamic introduction here in Bodyke. This lovely fine summer's even here as the summer comes to a close. But as Luke said, joined here as always by Pat McNamara. Pat, an enthralling encounter ahead here. Good rivalry. Scariff Ogonnelloe and Newmarket have had plenty of battles. We're expecting much more of the same here this evening, Pat.
Exactly, Leo. Just as I was thinking down the car, we've seen a few real rare battles with those two in the last 6 or 7 years alone, and this will be no different, I'd say. Newmarket brought up a little bit further East Clare than they'd be comfortable with, but we know Fintan Mac and Joe Britt and the lads will have them well primed for this one. Good, strong physical team. They had a good win, a surprising defeat to Kilmaley the last day, which surprises me anyway, because Kilmaley were very, very comprehensively beaten by Scariff 2 weeks ago. They didn't look to be at the races at all. So Jerry there is in the middle of the field now trying to have his umpires in place, and he's waiting for, I think, the market to come out with their numbers and or the helmets on, but Scariff are ready to go here. So looking forward to a great match, and that son that you said you often played against in training, and indeed with training and matches, is directly down towards the dressing room, so will be a handful, tricky for the goalie and for the full back line there, but could lead to some exciting stuff down there in the goal box, which we all want to see, of course, Leo.
Oh yeah,
you're not a goalie.
That's right, and that goal gives plenty of action. I suppose, Pat, I often use the sun as an excuse here among others here a lot of times, but as we said, welcome to all the listeners here in Bodyke here this evening for this senior championship game between Newmarket and Fergus and Scariff Ogonnelloe. We're going to give you the line-out of both teams now. There will be changes to the line-outs, as both managements were very, very cagey with the line-outs, so we're not giving it. So we'll go as near as we can. So Scariff Ogonnelloe first. In goals, Rachel Daly. The full-back line of Bonnie Wiley Murphy, Susan Daly and Alison McGee. A half-back line of Ciara Doyle, Rachel Minogue and Amy Barrett. Abby Walsh and Linda Daly will be in the middle of the field. I'd say Leisha O'Donnell will be at centre forward, Jennifer Daly at one wing, Alva Rogers maybe the other wing, with Aoife Power, Aisling Corbett, and I would imagine Lorraine Grady maybe the other one, but that's subject to change. Newmarket line out as follows. In goals is Lauren Flaherty, Aoife Crimmins, Carol O'Leary, Aoife Griffin, Quiva Lally, Ellen Casey, Gráinne McMahon, Jennifer Kelly, Katie O'Flanagan, Michelle McMahon, Emery Hayes, Casey Toomey, with Zoe McInerney, Laura McMahon and Nikki Kaiser. And Pat, looking at the Newmarket team there and boating, a lot of top class players in view here this evening.
Be sure, well, both sides, Leo. Yeah, I mean, again, these teams have been to the Four Clare Senior Camogie now for the last number of years. Scariff in more recent times, Newmarket for a good spell before that, and have played in many finals as well as losing finals and winning finals when they were winning. They're out in the field now. So look, you have a lot of top class players here. Scariff are Munster Senior Camogie champions, and most of those players are on view this evening, thankfully. But Newmarket and Fergus are not far behind in terms of quality, and you know, it's also a question of determination and being driven. And I suppose Newmarket's need is greatest Scariff have 2 good wins under the belt. Particularly impressive win against Kilmaley 2 weeks ago. Something less impressive, I believe, the last Friday against
poor last week in St. Joseph, but
so,
give credit to St. Joseph. St. Joseph played very, very well, and if St. Joseph had evaded their chances on the same evening, it could have been a lot tighter than the final scoreline suggested. I know they got the goals. Scariff Ogonnelloe didn't really penetrate for goals, but credit St. Joseph, they're a team on the up, and I suppose the hope for Joseph is that, and they should keep their senior status, and they will, but they will be a force given a year or two down the road, and that's what you want, more teams coming to the fore. Pat, looking at the pitch, maybe grass is not a bit high, but look at a beautiful side here in Bodyke here, for a beautiful venue out here in East Clare, and you'd love to see more games out here.
Absolutely, we say the same. I agree with you. First of all, there's a nice bit of grass in the field, but that's no harm because the ground is solid, so anybody hitting that grass is still moving along until it dries the bone. But beautiful conditions, lovely pitches, but a lovely venue too. Like many of these Clare venues, should probably have more big games. Places like Whitegate, Broadford here, and Scariff, of course, when it's ready, and many others. Ogonnelloe as well, of course. Lots of lovely venues, but Bodyke is always in tip-top shape. In fairness to those in charge, I know Sean Holland has been for many years. Probably, maybe still isn't the main man. I don't know, but he's another isn't.
Look, Sean is Sean is the assistant secretary at the moment, but Gavin Moroney the secretary. But look, they'll have everything. Don't worry, they'll have everything in the tip-top shape. And actually, the groundsman here is a Scariff man. Martin Corrie and his daughter Ashling could be lining out for. He's on this Scariff panel, so Martin does a tremendous job here in his daytime. And
who knows how to do things right is Martin. Working up in Flagmount, and indeed well able to do things and do them properly as well.
Yeah, and I see Katie O'Flanagan has gone back into, and Amy Barrett, 2 captains, are going to be in direct opposition to one another, and both teams are going through their final warm up here in Bodyke, and Jeff is getting a small bit impatient. He's beginning to call him out. I think Pat, maybe the ladies are saying out to let in that sun a bit, I'd say.
It must be. They're very, very relaxed altogether. There's little bits of hopping and sprinting and jogging and warming up and spare jumps going on as they're in the middle of the field. But I suppose we believe there is going to be a minute silence, and for a very good reason, Leo, that you can outline yourself in a moment. But Jerry's waiting, and the players now, it's the final huddle now, and this should take another maybe less than a minute. So of course, Leo, you can tell people why we have the minute silence.
Indeed, Pat, for sure. As the minute silence has been called by Jerry, it's in memory of the late Kitty McNicholas, and what a servant Kitty McNicholas has been to Clare Camogie and Camogie all over in general. Has been involved with Clare for, she was one of the main reasons why Father McNamara Park is in operation today. And look, we'll observe that minute silence in memory of Kitty McNicholas, and may Kitty McNicholas rest in peace, and sincere sympathy to Jim and all the family.
We're going to Broadford to Carmel Dillon, where Broadford are taking on Whitegate. How are things going there, Carmel?
Broadford just after getting a point there from the Queen, so Broadford are 4 points, Whitegate are 1-2.
Okay, 4 points to 1-2.
Yeah, so 5 points to Whitegate, counting the goal, and 2 points, and 4 points to Broadford. Very tight, good, skillful game. Very little wide so far, and beautiful evening here in Broadford. Both teams playing very well.
Lovely. Carmel, thanks a million. We'll get back to you again.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Okay, so we go down to Shannon now, where Kilkishen Bodyke are playing Truagh Clonlara, and we have Pat O'Brien on the line. How are things going in Shannon, Pat?
Yeah, well, they're going in favour of Truagh Clonlara at the present time, anyway, Jim. It's 1-5 to 1-2. Truagh Clonlara took a 4-point lead, and then they got a goal, so it was 1-4. It was 1-4 to 1 point. But Kilkishen Bodyke has come back into it, and thereafter they got a point, and then they got a goal. So it was 1-4 to 1-2. So now Kilkishen Bodyke have just started getting another goal. So
okay,
it's about 2-2 now to 1-5.
So 1-5 to 2-2, which makes it level scores. Perfect passes. That's after about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jim.
Lovely. Thanks a million. Thanks, Pat. We'll talk to you again.
Okay, thanks, Pat. We'll go back to the game where Scariff Ogonnelloe are just after adding the point.
Yeah, our final of the other 3 matches we're covering, and that's Corofin versus Tulla up in Corofin. And on the line we have Brideen Dinan to tell us how that's going. Brideen.
It's all going well here. So 15 or 20 minutes gone, it's finished, and Tulla are up 1-5 to 1 point at the minute. So the girls are doing unreal stuff now in the first couple of minutes. So once we keep that going now, hopefully we'll have a good result to report on.
Great. Well, that's what we want here in East Clare, Brideen. 1-5 to 1 point. After how much gone?
Yeah.
About 20 minutes or so?
About 20 minutes, yeah, around that.
Okay, Brideen, we'll get back to you later. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thanks.
God bless. Bye-bye now.
Okay, back to the action with no more scores on the board.
Rachel Minogue sticks in the hurley, and the ball here comes out is McMahon. McMahon is showing well. She might have been injured. She gets a lovely measured ball. That's a free in for Laura McMahon. 1-10 for Newmarket Clonlara, 10 points in Newmarket in Cusick Park. 10-5 here in Overdyke. Amy Barrett with a ball, measured ball down, looking for power. Power puts up the hurley with one hand and gets the ball. And there goes the Fadog here in Bodyke. And on a scoreline of 10 for Scariff Ogonnelloe, 5 we reckon for Newmarket at half time. We have to check that with the rate or the hoihi. But Pat, I suppose Scariff Ogonnelloe just about deserving that 4 or 5 point lead.
They do, I think their forwards have found a bit more space than the Newmarket and Fergus forwards have. Yeah, the forwards have found more space and found them more easily with the likes of Alva Rogers, Aoife Power, Linda Daly, Leisha O'Donnell and Lorraine Grady, particularly very impressing in that aspect, and indeed Aisling Corbett has shown for it a few times as well. They're just maybe making better runs. Newmarket are maybe depending a little bit on Laura McMahon and Nikki Kaiser in there, maybe Casey Toomey as well, Michelle McMahon at times, or Amy Dundee at times as well. But I think maybe the few interceptions there by Abby Walsh, interventions by her as well, at me feel very, very important. And of course Amy Barrett, as usual, storming into the back. They have back line of Kira Doyle and Susan Daly, and indeed all of them in fact are playing well in defence. So I mean 10-5 10-5 to jerk off the 10.
One thing you haven't mentioned was the outstanding goalkeeping of the Scariff Ogonnelloe goalkeeper Rachel Daly,
especially against that really, really dazzling sun, and it's going to be still there in the second half. It's getting lower in the sky obviously now this time of the year, but yeah, very, very good goalkeeping by her. They could have conceded a couple of goals there easily, Leo, if she wasn't on song, and a 2-5 to 10 points would be a very, very different complexion, but no, she struck her ground, got.
Alright there, Jim, while the boys are just finishing up their half-time analysis, we have our own half-time scores coming in, so take it away there.
Okay, well, we'll go back to Shannon and Truagh Clonlara against Kilkishen Bodyke when we were there before. It was 2-2 for Bodyke Kilkishen, 1-5 for Truagh Clonlara. Level scores, I think Bodyke were just after getting a goal when we were there. So, Pat O'Brien, you might bring us up to date.
Well, Jim, it's at half time here now. It's just half time. It's great battle, a great match going up and down the field now. Kilkishen Bodyke have really come into it, and they're putting up a great old fight. Now, Truagh Clonlara look that bit sharper maybe in front of goal. So, the score at the present time is at half time. It's 1-9 to 2-3. So there's a goal in it.
Okay, who's ahead, Pat?
Oh yeah, Truagh Clonlara 1-9, Jim, and Kilkishen Bodyke 2-3.
Okay.
Now, Kilkishen Bodyke gave away a bit of a soft goal, the short puck out, and the full back wasn't ready for it, and it was robbed off and mixed things was inside the net. So maybe only for that goal it might have been maybe level at half time, but Truagh Clonlara just looked that bit sharper and they're 3 points up.
Okay, but I suppose it is only half time. Yeah, lovely evening indeed, all over East Clare.
It's a lovely evening all around, yeah. It's a lovely evening for the match, and there's a well-appointed venue here in Shannon, and yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Thanks.
How's Scariff and Scariff Ogonnelloe?
9 points to 4 for Scariff Ogonnelloe at half time, but a very close, tight game here. You know, the lads have been commentating on it here, so it's all to play for in the second half, just like it is down in Shannon. Okay, Pat. Jim. Thank you very much, Pat. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The last time we were down there, Broadford were trading Whitegate a goal and 2 points to 4 points for Broadford. Now it's probably half time, and Carmel Dillon is on the line. Carmel, how are we doing in Broadford?
Hi there, Jim. Well, Broadford did go ahead for a brief time, but unfortunately the score now is 8 points to Broadford and 2-5 to Whitegate. Whitegate got a second goal there just before half time. Very competitive game, very good game, high quality, and Whitegate forwards are on form okay. They're dangerous, but Broadford backs are holding them fairly well at the moment.
Okay, well, it sounds like we have cracking games all over East Clare this evening, with very little between many of the teams. So, listen, we'll be back to you midway through the second half for an update, Carmel.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you. No
okay,
problem.
God bless now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, the last time we were in Corofin, where Tulla are playing Corofin, I think there was about 20 minutes gone, and Tulla were 1-5 to 1 point ahead. So, Brideen, you might bring us up to date on how things are at the moment.
Yeah, the second half is just starting off here in Corofin now, and Tulla are 1-8 to 6 points up. So Corofin had a bit of a good patch there just before half time. They got a few scores, so they're kind of coming in the better of two teams at half time. But we're all kind of guns blazing now to start the second half. So hopefully our girls will show up again.
Yeah, so a good start for Tulla is what we want as we go into the second half, Brideen.
Yeah, 100%.
Lovely. Brideen, much obliged. Thank you very much, and we'll get back to you later on, see how things are going.
No bother. Perfect. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Okay, then, just to give everybody a bit of an update on our scores, then we'd say Corofin versus Tulla has just started the second half, and it's Corofin 6 points, and Tulla 1-8. Kilkishen Bodyke are 2-3. Truagh Clonlara are 1-9 at half time, and Broadford, Whitegate are 8 points, Whitegate are 2-5. So we'll try on a little bit of music for a while because we're a few minutes away from the second half here yet.
Yeah, thanks a million, Luke, and Fodro Rash, Goody Kumanuka Square, Brideen Dinan, for the second half here of this Senior Camogie Championship game between Scariff Ogonnelloe and Newmarket. In Scariff Ogonnelloe, in the vicinity, Jerhoy is about to try in the ball for second half, 10 points to 5. Pat, what are you expecting in the second half, and you're expecting a non-start from the market?
Well, Newmarket isn't going to go down without a fight, Leo, for certain. They need the points that little bit more, I suppose, than Scariff Ogonnelloe do. But having said that, Scariff Ogonnelloe were the better team in the first half, if marginally. 10 points to 5 tells its own story. And the ball hasn't moved from the middle of the field since the throw-in. And now, is it Ellen Casey?
Yeah, it is going to move now with Ellen Casey.
Yeah, at half time, we down in Shannon, it was Bodyke Kilkishen 2-3, Truagh Clonlara 1-9. So I have Pat O'Brien on the line again. Pat, how are things going now? You must be sort of halfway through the second half.
Yeah, about halfway through, Jim, and it's Truagh Clonlara got a goal straight after half time, so it's 2-11. 2-12 to 2-5 at the present time, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, Truagh Clonlara really dominating the second half now. Kilkishen Bodyke are finding it hard to get. So they're backing away, but they're finding it hard to get the scores. Truagh Clonlara are just getting them that bit easier. So it's 2-12. About a quarter of an hour gone. It's maybe a little longer than a quarter of an hour, and it's Truagh Clonlara 2-12 and Kilkishen Bodyke 2-5.
Okay, so 7 points in it, and I suppose there's a bit to go yet, so we won't write things off yet.
No, hopefully not. But they're that big stronger, Truagh Clonlara down the middle, and they're big players.
Okay.
Very physical and strong, and they're just getting the scores that bit easier than Kilkishen Bodyke.
I know.
So hopefully you'll never know.
Okay, Pat, we'll see you at the finish. Okay, thanks a million.
Yeah, okay, Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Okay, then that's the update from Kilkishen Bodyke and Truagh Clonlara, and while we're here, Scariff Ogonnelloe have just added an extra point, so it's now back to double scores. It's 16 points to Scariff Ogonnelloe and 8 points to Newmarket on Fergus. So we'll go back to the boys.
They made a mistake in the game. It's just contributed so much to at least 5 or 6 of their points.
And the ball is out there with Claude Holland. I thought the late action there by Jerry. Yeah, I think there could have been 2 frees there. Yeah. Claude Holland did go to ground. She did get a bang, but I know she had steps maybe taken, but she hadn't had as many taken as the last time. But I think maybe she was more entitled to free in that occasion, Pat.
I think she was. She's getting attention. Jerry has, in fairness, called for attention for her. But
we'll go back to Broadford at half time. It was 2-5 to Whitegate, 8 points to Broadford. Carmel Dillon is there, and Carmel, you might bring us up to date.
Yeah. Hi, Jim. It's 1-11 to Broadford, 4-9 to Whitegate at the moment.
Okay.
And Broadford have a 3 in. Very unlucky not to score a goal there a few minutes ago, and they have a 3 in now. There was a 3 a few minutes ago, and Evicted Field went for a goal, but he saved. And now we have another 3 in.
Okay, so I suppose the Whitegate goals are what's the difference at the moment?
yes, Whitegate forwards are very good, and it's
Okay. Carmel, we'll come back to you at the end for a final check on the score. Many thanks.
No problem.
Right then, Scariff Ogonnelloe have just added another point there, and just to give a shout out to, we have listeners all over the world this evening, and we have people in London, of course, and we have a few listeners in the States, and especially in the state of Kansas, so we welcome you along, and hope you're enjoying the coverage. The sun has just gone down, and we'll now go back to the live commentary.
Killaloe messing around with the ball there, going to be taken away by Casey Toomey, and the ball goes out over the line ball for Newmarket. It should be, I thought it was a Scariff Ogonnelloe ball, but I think
the young lines person, they didn't know it, she's just doing her gone through the routines here, but Jet has called it for a line ball for Newmarket.
Yeah, there's another sub coming on from Newmarket. It is Claudia Holland coming on with her original number 30 at this stage, and Aoife Griffin is going back into the corner, and I'd say, look, is it Aoife Crimmins or Anya O'Brien is making way? Looks like it. I'd say as soon as
I know giving instructions there, we can hear him over this side.
Yeah, he's belling them out there. There's no other way. Rachel Daly and Gerald, let's the play go on. One more attack, I'd say, and the ball goes down. Who's going to finish here? And the ball is with Abby Walsh. Abby Walsh tries to get away, gets away from Katie O'Flanagan. Not an easy thing to do. And a line ball for Scariff Ogonnelloe out over the line off the. Rachel McMahon, or Roisin McMahon was given the ball to the market, but look at,
why wouldn't you?
Would you do the same? Would you do the same thing yourself? It's a line ball for Leisha O'Donnell. We're in the dying moments here of this senior championship, Camogie championship game. A low ball goes down. Who's going to win this one? It's going to come out. Is it Newmarket? Leisha O'Donnell trying to go. I'd say he's waiting. And I'm not too sure Laura McMahon going in. I tell you, she sees a bit of triple over. She was going in to start it out. And here, he's thrown in the ball between Linda Daly and Katie O'Flanagan. Who's going to get who's going to have the last say here? And the ball goes to ground. And there's Ger High brings the match to a conclusion here in Bodyke. And on a scoreline of Newmarket and Fergus, 11 points. Scariff Ogonnelloe 20 points. A 9 points win for Scariff Ogonnelloe. Pat, I suppose overall they were the better team.
They were well the better team. Leo, first of all, we'll credit Ashton Corbett with a few great frees there, maybe 5 or 6 really good quality frees, but there was about 12 or 13 super forwards points scored in that game by Scariff Ogonnelloe. As I said, the movement off the ball, the passing, the use of the ball by the player in possession, maybe the half-back line cleared up some great ball to the forwards, midfield, Abby Walsh 3 points in midfield as well, and then we had another influential aspect that was Amy Barrett going back to stop the progress of Laura McMahon, which she did without any great problem at all. Amy's brilliant. Laura, in fairness, got some great scores for Newmarket, especially frees, but we know the player she is. But Amy settled that defence big time, Leo, and she didn't want to play too well because she'll be looking, will they be considering moving her back a bit more permanently? But
Pat, she played cornerback for the Clare-Seniors a few years ago, and she was very impressive. But I don't see it as a long-term thing.
Well, I'd say she wouldn't be thinking that either because she'd be a bit more limited in what she might be able to do there. But she likes to be fully involved in the game, as we know. Maybe go forward for another score. But overall, very impressive Scariff Ogonnelloe, Leo. I mean, there's an awful lot of talk about how impressive Truagh Clonlara have been, but in the 2 games so far that I've seen, Scariff Ogonnelloe against Kilmaley, who are contenders, and Scariff Ogonnelloe against Newmarket, who are also contenders, they have beaten them comprehensively, and I mean, you can do no more than that. But I think it's going to be some battle whenever those two are bound to meet at some stage of the championship, Leo. It's going to be some game because Scariff Ogonnelloe now, the squad is stronger also, Leo. We saw what the sub Clear and McNamara, and we see what Leisha
Ashton Corrie played very well.
Corrie did very well as she came in there, and then you have Mairead Scanlon to come back, I suppose, after her nuptials, I presume. So a lot of positives for Scariff Ogonnelloe this evening, and
But Pat, it takes 2 to tango, and with Newmarket, in fairness, they don't. The one thing you get with Newmarket, Pat, and you can be sure, they will not throw in the towel. They will stay on to the final whistle at all times. And Laura, in fairness, she kept tacking over the points. I suppose they're looking maybe at scoring differential later on. There will be a big push for that second position. Scariff Ogonnelloe probably more or less home and hose there now. They have 6 Bridge to play in their last match. So but then you see what Scariff Ogonnelloe is going to turn up, because you're looking at the performance last week against St. Joseph's.
Yeah, you're saying that, Leo.
I was impressed with St. Joseph's. I will say that much, But look at as Newmarket go for their warm down now, and under Fintan Mack and his management team over there, Scariff Ogonnelloe having a chat over there.
we were looking at Tulla versus Corofin, and just at the start of the second half, Tulla were looking for to start with a bang again. They were leading by 1-8 to 6 points, 11 points to 6. So Brideen Dinan is in Corofin and will give us a full time report.
It's just after finishing up here in Corofin, it's 3-10 to 15 points that finished up. The girls really grinded it out. They played unbelievable there in the last couple of minutes when everything was against them, and you know what, they did so well to grind out and match and Corofin threw absolutely everything at them. So it was an absolutely mighty win now.
Yeah. So 3-10 for Tulla, 15 points for Corofin.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's great. That's brilliant. So, smiles in Tulla this evening, Brideen.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. Delighted with that now. So
lovely.
On a high now for a while.
Okay, listen, Brideen, many thanks for joining us today, for bringing us up to date on what's happening in Tulla. Well done to Tulla, good win there, and hopefully many more of them.
Yeah, perfect. Spot on. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Brideen.
Okay, so full time there in that game. Corofin 15 points and Tulla 3-10. Good win there for Tulla. We'll have a few more reports coming up in a few minutes there. There's no sign of Alfie appearing from the ether yet, but I'm sure he'll appear somewhere after his chat to the team.
Yeah, we've Pat O'Brien down in Shannon to give us a full-time report between Kilkishen Bodyke and Truagh Clonlara. It was 2-12 to 2-5 when we spoke last to Pat, with about 15 minutes to go. So, Pat, how did it finish?
I finished Truagh Clonlara 2-13 and Kilkishen Bodyke 2-17. That's the final score. It was up and down the field. There wasn't an awful lot of scores in the last 10 minutes, and there was a little break, and then Ryan got injured and she was down for 2 minutes, and it broke the momentum a bit. But Kilkishen Bodyke brought it down to 4 points, but missed a couple of chances there towards the end. A ball came passing off the pass there from Kate Lynch, and the ball was clear. So I finished 2-13, 2-7.
Okay, so they probably will be the two teams that will go out of that group, Pat. So hopefully Kilkishen Bodyke will learn from that game and hopefully will be able to put it into practice the next time.
Yeah, Truagh Clonlara just said they were that bit stronger physically up the middle, and they're some very big, physically strong players. So Kilkishen Bodyke has a share of younger players introduced this year. So it's just a good learning experience, and they're definitely great now. You know, they say that definitely did right out to the end, and they were still pressing there towards the end, towards to win the final whistle win. So
okay,
anyway,
well, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat.
2-13, 2-7.
Many thanks, Pat, for that, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow when the Mills are playing Broadford. So until tomorrow. Thanks a million for joining us.
Okay, Jim. Thanks very much.
Right,
Thank
okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Right then, that's the result from Kilkishen Bodyke, down by 6 points against Truagh Clonlara. Now Alfie's going to come over and put a headset on here, and Pat is going to talk to him. So Alfie, if you just bear with me a second now.
Thanks, Luke.
And Pat, take it away.
Thanks indeed, Luke. And first of all, Alfie, congrats again. My second time seeing you this championship. I saw you 3 weeks ago, or whatever it was, against 4 weeks ago, was it against?
We got a suntan that night, Pat.
Against Killaloe, very, very impressive. Superly impressive game tonight. In between, Leo Chelsea was slightly less impressive, although that Joseph had improved an awful lot in the meantime. But number 8 Scanlon, preparing for nuptials, and you just scored 20 points. He was very happy.
Yeah, pleased enough, Pat. Although there was so much going on over there on that line at stages, I wasn't sure what to think, you know. Yeah, look, 20 points. Anytime you put 20 points in the score is a good return. When you consider Mairead wasn't available to us tonight either, that was a good score. So yeah, we're pleased. 20, as I say, 20 points. I think we closed out the game the second half in particular. We limited the number of shots they had. I think they had 3 shots on goal or 4 in the second half. So that was really pleasing. I suppose the obvious elephant in the room, if you like, was the lack of goal scoring opportunities we created tonight. But yeah, look, as I said to you the last night, we were looking for 3 wins from the first 3 games, and we've got that.
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
It's all about results at the end of the day, and performances are great, but it's 2 points, and you go now to the knockout stages with confidence. Some of your good play in the first half today started with your goalkeeper, who made two very, very important saves against the sun in difficult circumstances. And if Newmarket had got a foothold at that stage, it might have been just a slightly different game.
Yeah, they caused us a lot of problems early on. The first 15 minutes there, we were under a bit of pressure, but look, they were fighting for their lives in the sense that they needed to win the game, I suppose, tonight. We knew that. So we were bracing ourselves for that onslaught, and it came very early. We were under pressure. I suppose when Amy went back, corner back, it kind of settled us a little bit as well, and we started to play out a little bit more. And there to half time, I thought we played well. I thought we got a couple of vital scores, and then the same in the second half. I thought Abby Walsh came up there with a crucial score just after half time, and it was a brilliant score pass in, I think, from Alva, and
that's right.
that kind of settled us. That was a big
and
moment for us.
You mentioned the movement of Amy Barrett, and I know Nicky Kaiser and Lauren McMahon, two seriously experienced players and two very, very quality players, were causing some little bit of trouble. But I think, as you said, when Amy went back, it settled the whole thing in a bit, and obviously she's very physical, but she's also using the ball very well, and from there on they never got confidence. But the shooting, I just thought that the use of the ball by your players was excellent tonight, and I think the fact there was an inch of grass on the pitch meant that when passes went, they stuck. People before they have to easily pick up a ball on the run, and some of the passing of your runners was brilliant, and there was most of the points you got from play were involving 2 or 3 players just doing the right thing with the ball, and the finisher then applied the finishing touches, and it was 3 great points. I thought Leisha O'Donnell, and of course Lorraine Grady, and younger players like the Elva, of course, just super skills, and just beautiful scores.
Well, that's the thing, I suppose. They're a very skillful team, and that's one of the things that I suppose we've been kind of impressing on them is to create those opportunities to take on the defences, take on and try and make the run to take the pass as much as making the pass itself, and I think we did that very effectively, particularly in the first half there. I think you mentioned 1 or 2 of them there.
And
Abby
Aoife Power as well. I mean, the return of Aoife Power to that forward line and what she brings, the work rate alone tonight, she was just mad for ball. She made so many runs. Her skills are unbelievable. She can even catch high ball for a girl who's only 5 foot. I don't know what height she is, but she's not tall. What a return for her.
Yeah, she had a super in the second half there as well. Just after half time, she got a couple of absolutely brilliant peaches of scores, but look, we've been watching Aoife for a long number of years, so we know exactly what she can do, and today was one of her. She's back to the Aoife we've known over the last number of years. Definitely.
What's on the agenda for the next couple of weeks now? I know you're sure of being in the business in the championship, so how are you going to approach the next few weeks?
Well, I'm only just back from holidays now, Pat, so I don't know. Yeah.
Doing some running maybe at the start of the training.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we have a junior match on Sunday. That'll be the immediate, the immediate priority. I suppose, we have 6 Mile Bridge, I think, in 2 weeks' time, and then a semi-final, hopefully, to prepare for the week, 2 weeks after that. So the next month is kind of laid out for us in that sense. So we'll be working within that window. Look, some things worked well for us, but there's a lot of stuff that we want to really zone in on now and really try and fine tune as you go into a semi-final. Whoever the team coming out on the other side, they'll see it as a huge opportunity for them.
Might be interested. Truagh Clonlara 2-13, Kilkishen Bodyke 2-7. So not a massive margin in that game. I think Kilkishen Bodyke fought tooth and nail in that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-7 for all listeners and for you as well, Elfie. So that's how that went. And no doubt, I suppose you're going to be meeting Truagh Clonlara probably at some stage of this season. It looks like it's in the gods will kind of.
Yeah, I think it'll be the 2 teams there now, isn't it? If we go top, then it'll be Kilkishen Bodyke in the semi-final, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
be cross parents.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
So look at it. I mean, that's the way it's shaping up at the moment. So we'll have to prepare ourselves for that.
I'm sure you will as well. So listen, I hope you enjoyed your holiday, and secondly, thanks for hanging on after all the your team talk, etc. to talk to us, and all we can do now is wish you every success against the Bridge and indeed for the rest of the championship. And thanks for talking to us, Elfie.
No bother, Pastor. It's always a pleasure to be on Scariff Bay.
Yeah, we're going back to Broadford and Carmel Dillon, and the last time we were there, Whitegate were ahead by 4-9 to 111. How did it pan out at the end, Carmel?
4-9 to 1-11. Yeah, a handout like that. I'm afraid a win for Whitegate. Whitegate have won all their matches so far, and it was a great game of Camogie, but Whitegate forwards were just on fire, basically.
Yes. Okay, so Whitegate, they seem to be, and they seem to be able to get goals, Carmel.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they have 2 hickeys there and 2 sisters, and they're very good, to be honest.
Yes.
But that's the story now from Broadford this evening. So Broadford will have to win their next 2 matches to qualify for semi-final.
Okay. Anyway, listen, Carmel, many thanks for joining us. Sorry for keeping you so late down there with all the different reports. And listen, we'll talk to you for the next game, please God. So, Carmel Dillon from Broadford, many thanks.
Not at all. You're welcome. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Carmel, for that. And now, Leo and Pat are just sort of looking at the final scores there for the evening. They're going to just have a little bit of a discussion about it and talk about what's happening in the weeks ahead. So take it away, Leo.
Yeah. Luke, thanks a million. I thought I was going home. This is definitely double time anyway. There's no other way. Pat, we're just going to look at the other results there. And a full time, the other game in this group, the Bridge, 6 Mile Bridge 116, St. Joseph's 110.
Yeah. Sorry, Leo. Yeah, I didn't know whether I was switched on or off here. Yeah, no. So just looking at the game, we'll say Tulla beat Corofin there. So looking at the East Clare games that we were covering, we were getting reports there from the various games. 3-10 to 15 points.
Right, okay, that's a good win for Tulla now. I know
after last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, Corofin were missing probably Evie Malone out through injury. She'd have been a huge loss for Corofin. She picked up a concussion injury there last weekend and will be out for quite a while. But a very important player. But that's a good win. 3 goals again, win matches. 3-10 to 15 points. You know, it looks like Whitegate are in poor position to qualify for for that intermediate semi-finals. And actually, that intermediate championship could go anywhere.
4-9 to 1-11.
There's nothing between any of those teams. And look at these knockout games aren't going to be on for another 6 weeks. Like, so I tell you one thing, teams now will be, the Camogie training will be really priming up. You know, I find it hard to pick a winner of that intermediate. Like, you've got Rogue also there. You know, it could be anyone. Whitegate are probably
like
but look at anything. Whitegate seems to be able to get goals. That's what's carrying them at the moment. You know. But
4 tonight.
Yeah, and they got 3 again. Corofin there a number of weeks. Got 2 last week. Like, that's 9 or 10 goals in 3 matches. That's championship winning stuff. But again, look at I would, to like the intermediate hurling, I don't know who you'd back to win it. And to say with the Camogie, I wouldn't be able to put anyone my odds.
Truagh Clonlara seem to be going fairly well. I mean, they've been winning all their games and they've been.
Truagh Clonlara, Jim, for me, are the favourites for the Camogie championship without doubt. You know, Scariff Ogonnelloe improved tonight. There's no, but Truagh Clonlara again a tricky opponent in Kilkishen Bodyke. You know, and Kilkishen Bodyke scored 2-7 to 2-13. You know. It is a good win for Truagh Clonlara. That's probably been one of the hardest matches in the championship so far, I would imagine. Truagh Clonlara will be quite happy. You know, they seem to be different on a different trajectory this year, Pat. They're make up for last year.
They're not showing. They've been showing this far for the last couple of years, Leo. I mean, as I said, how close they were to the championship last year, and maybe if they got out of Clare, maybe they've done a Munster as well as Scariff Ogonnelloe did. But they're a top team, and look at they're going well. Having said that, Kilkishen Bodyke, 6-point margin tonight wasn't a thrashing by any means. Kilkishen Bodyke put it up to them fairly well, and I saw Kilkishen against Kilkishen Bodyke last week, and Kilkishen Bodyke were fairly impressive. But that's a decent performance by them. But Truagh Clonlara are probably the team to beat with the locals team, Scariff Ogonnelloe.
No one talk about Kilaloe, and they drew with Kilkishen Bodyke. So it's going to come down now to scoring difference between Kilkishen Bodyke and Kilaloe to go through. It's the second team there, and anything is possible. The game that kind of catching my eye from this group tonight is 6 Mile Bridge 160 and St. Joseph's 110. Now the Bridge played Newmarket in the first round, didn't have Chloe Morey, lost to Newmarket. She was back tonight, no doubt. 116 is good scoring as well against St. Joseph's. That's kind of a mirror image. Like Scariff Ogonnelloe got 15 points last week, 116. That's going to be an interesting tie, even though Scariff Ogonnelloe are probably through as we speak. So what they'll do in 4 weeks' time when they're playing the Bridge, the placing, the group, the seating, or the places might be even decided by then, but you saw with Newmarket there tonight, Laura McMahon kept tipping over points. Scoring difference again is going to be huge in these games, Jim, and to be all intents and purposes, they're playing for the second spot.
Yes, okay. So listen, it's all to play for in the various competitions, particularly senior, intermediate, and that's exactly what you want. And just before we finish, I mean, there are two mouth-watering ties tomorrow that we'll be covering here on Scariff Bay Community Radio, both being played in 6 Mile Bridge.
Oh Jesus, tomorrow is a good big one, but I can tell you, that is a big one, the intermediate championship. Whoever loses that is Imaha for the year. The year is over, and then you have the derby between Broadford and the Mills. Now, neither of them are going to win the championship, but I tell you, neither of them want to be coming down into the intermediate, into a playoff to come down to intermediate either. Not that it's out of bounds for Broadford to get through yet as well. If they won tomorrow, they could be back in it, but all intents and purposes, they're probably out of the running for the Gannon Hamilton. But I tell you, there's a bigger fish that you don't want to be coming down back down to intermediate. And but look, there are two mouth-watering 4 East Clare teams in the bridge. Bringing the 4 East Clare teams to the bridge, the county board must be expecting fireworks, and they're probably going to get it, Pat.
Well, it's in the bridge anyway, yes, but the regional council is East Clare as well, but what derbies look forward to, 2 local derbies, and look at either can go either way. I think there's no question about that. I think the senior game could definitely go either way. You probably fancy Tulla to be slightly stronger than Bodyke if Bodyke are weakened by injuries as they continue to be. But if Bodyke have anyone or 2 players back, but I suppose they won't really.
They won't.
The long-term ones obviously won't be back, but
they might be missing some pet. That's the only problem,
yes,
and look,
injuries for Bodyke have been an issue this year. I think they have one of the better squads with a full squad. But look at injuries are part of the game, Leo. So anyway, look forward to tomorrow and our coverage.
You want to go home and get some rest, so that
you. We want to get. Wants to look. You just oil it up a bit for tomorrow.
Honey and water, Pat.
Nothing like it, Leo.
Okay, so we'll go back to Luke.
We'll thank the boys for that, and I suppose it's nearly time for us to wrap up here for this evening. So as always, our thanks to Pat and our thanks to Leo. And Jim, you might give us a run on our sponsors, I would say.
Thanks to Carmel Dillon in Broadford tonight, Pat O'Brien down in Shannon, and Brideen Dinan in Corofin for sending us the reports. And our sponsors tonight were John Daly from The Forge in Killaloe, who sponsored our broadcast this evening. So many thanks to him.
Indeed, and from past experience, great shop to go into. You'll get a selection of everything if you go inside there, and you'll get good attention as well. So listen, our thanks to them. Right, that's it for tonight. Don't forget now, we'll say for the next 3 weeks, the Scariff Bay are online only. As I said, it's just a few logistics, Jim, that you might explain to the listeners just in relation to the licence application scheme.
Yes, well, it's nothing to do with us, it's to do with the scheme, and we can't go back on air until a year after we started our last licence, and so since we broadcast Saturday and Sunday, that'll be Saturday the 17th of September, and we look forward to being back on FM then. But of course, we are online. Scariff Bay Community Radio continues as normal service, matches and everything, but online only for the next few weeks. It's not our choice, but that's the way it is.
Them the rules, I think.
That's the rules,
as the man says, and we'll say all the games and everything like that will be available on podcast as well. So if you can't catch it live, as the boys on Sky say, you can get the podcast.
You can indeed.
As Scariff Bay say, you can listen back to it. Right, listen, we'll finish up here, and back normal programming will recommence at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the podcast and our report for all the games over here for the weekend will be up online in the next day or two as well. So right, that's it from the Evicted here in Tuamgraney. So we'll sort of play us out with a little bit of music, and Jim, normal service will resume tomorrow.
9 o'clock.